First of all, who is this Charlie? And if he's so poor, how come he's teaching us how to invest in the stock market while selling millions of books at $60 a pop? Poor Charlie is a 97-year-old man with a net worth of $2.3 billion. He's Charles Munger, Warren Buffett's longtime investment partner. And if you're wondering what the heck this book is about and why is it called Poor Charlie, the answer is pretty simple. The title is drawn from Ben Franklin's book Poor Richard's Almanack, who Charles Munger admires. And the book is basically a collection of speeches from the wise and successful men sharing his wisdom and experience about everything between stock markets and how to live a happy life. So with no further ado, let's dive right into the book and give you the 4 main takeaways. Number 1, know your circle of competence. To make good decisions, you need to know what you're good at. Munger calls this the circle of competence, and to help you understand the concept, imagine a circle around you. The circle is as big as your knowledge, and it keeps growing when you learn new things. The goal is to 1. Operate within the circle, and 2. To keep working towards expanding the circle. When it comes to investments, Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett know what they're good at and what they're bad at. So when they study the market, they put every single investment opportunity in one of 3 buckets: yes, no, or too tough to understand. The investments that make the yes bucket are usually businesses that are easy to understand and that are strong enough to thrive even if the market goes in a different direction the very next day. IPOs tend to go into the rejected bucket simply because these businesses are usually overhyped and overpriced. And many complex businesses like pharmaceuticals and technology go into the too tough to understand bucket. This explains why Buffett waited up until 2016 to invest in Apple. So as Munger once said, you have to figure out what your aptitudes are. If you play a game where other people have the aptitude and you don't, you're going to lose. But you know what's a good game where everybody can win? Smashing the like button on this video. Everyone has a great aptitude for it, so go for it. Hit the like button and let's dig into the second takeaway. Number 2 is the Lollapalooza Effect. In 1995, in a speech at Harvard University, Munger created the concept of the Lollapalooza Effect. It occurs when multiple different tendencies and mental models combine to act in the same direction, resulting in a much more significant outcome. Meaning, when various things align in a specific order, the whole is bigger than the sum of the parts. A real-life example of the Lollapalooza Effect is a Tupperware party. And that, by the way, is a party where the host invites friends and neighbors into their home to see the product of, you guessed it, Tupperware. It is an old-school selling technique that was quite effective. Mainly because multiple psychological biases work in the same direction and push people towards irrational decisions, which in this case is buying Tupperware products that people don't really need. This happens because these parties take advantage of 4 weapons of influence. 1. Reciprocity. People feel they have to buy because they're invited to the party. 2. Consistency. People feel they should buy because they want to remain consistent with their shared opinions. 3. Commitment tendency. People feel that since they started bidding, they must continue. And 4. Social proof. People feel like buying must be a good idea because everyone else is buying. Does that sound familiar? Now, this effect does not have to be something terrible and it doesn't have to lead you to buying $500 worth of kitchenware. But understanding the effect can help you guard against cognitive biases. By identifying that biases are likely at work in a situation, you can adjust your thinking to weaken them. This is an especially useful skill when it comes to investing. Takeaway number 3. Never stop learning. In one of his speeches, Charlie once said that in his whole life, he has known no wise people that don't read all the time. And he goes on to say that you'll be amazed by how much Warren Buffett himself read. He even jokes that kids think he's a book with a couple of legs sticking out. Reading is often associated with learning, but that's not the only way in which you can learn. You can take online courses, you can watch documentaries and look at all sorts of information online. But before you do so, be aware that knowing some random facts won't really help you. There is a huge difference between reciting some factoids and actually knowing your stuff. according to Charlie, to the man with a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And this is a handicap of a person with a singular skill or concept. So he argues that the best way to learn is to learn lots of mental models, then assemble them in a connected network. Think of mental models as tools on your toolkit. The more tools you have, the more you can draw upon to solve a problem. So if you're interested in personal finance and investing, for example, don't limit yourself to learning just about the stock market or budgeting. Explore things like human psychology, self-improvement, economics, habit building, and even stuff like biographies. All of this will ultimately improve your own thinking and mental models and make you a more successful investor. Takeaway number 4, avoid mistakes. Some people claim that mistakes are proof that you're trying, but the reality is not everybody can afford to make them. Next time you're in a plane, imagine if you would like the pilot to make a mistake while flying you at 800 kilometers an hour. You definitely don't want to hear over the PA, this is your pilot speaking, I forgot about XYZ, so now we're plummeting toward the ground. Oops, sorry about that folks, enjoy some free peanuts. Pilots need to be on top of the game at all times. This is why during their training they acquire formal education that teaches them how to pilot an airplane. Then they learn how to act in unexpected situations. They learn also how to think forward and in reverse. This means they're always prepared for what will happen and always aware of what they don't want to happen. They also establish priorities so they can spend more time learning the most important things. And above all, even when they get their license, they never stop training in the simulator and renewing their skills and knowledge. And finally, they always use checklists. So wait, if pilots use checklists to avoid mistakes and omissions and fly people through the air, why shouldn't you as an investor? That's exactly what Charlie thinks. So he came up with a checklist you can use before you start investing. Check it out. Think independently, stay humble, learn hard and work hard, analyze rigorously, measure risk, allocate assets wisely, be patient, be decisive, adapt to change, and stay focused. So you see, when you decide to invest, come back to this checklist and make sure you're following all the steps. And when the answer is yes to every single step, be confident because oh boy, you're definitely on the right track. And all of this is phenomenal and super motivational information. But how do you apply it? How do you actually take this in a step-by-step manner, apply it to the real world so you can actually start seeing results? Because you cannot pay your mortgage or your bills in motivation, you actually need the steps. So let's talk implementation in the next video. Click right here, I'll see you right there.